To me, I think it's over. I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum. You know what scum is? They're scum. They're sick people. They're led by sick people.
President Donald Trump said the ceasefire with Iran is over. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Wednesday, July 8th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Trump made the comments about the ceasefire at a NATO summit in Turkey. They came after U.S. forces launched dozens of new strikes against Iran overnight, hitting more than 80 targets. The U.S. military said those strikes were in response to Iranian attacks on commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has retaliated with more strikes it says targeted U.S. military sites in Bahrain and Kuwait. Sitting next to NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte at a press conference in Ankara, Trump railed against Iranian negotiators.
As far as I'm concerned, it's just a waste of time dealing with them. They're liars. We make a deal. And if I make a deal with him, we have a deal. And he goes out, he talks. We make a deal. Everyone's agreed. No nuclear weapon. We make a deal. They go outside, talk to the press. They say, we never even talked about it. There's something wrong with them. They're cuckoo. As far as I'm concerned, it's over.
Yesterday, the Trump administration also revoked a waiver for sanctions on Iranian oil sales. That had been the primary benefit to Iran of the ceasefire deal. The reversal immediately pushed up the cost of Brent crude, the international benchmark for oil prices. Number 2 is a Post exclusive. An ex-girlfriend of Graham Platner said he removed condoms without consent during sex. Platner is the Democratic Senate candidate in Maine. But he is under pressure to drop out of the race after a woman who said she dated him, Jenny Rasico, said he sexually assaulted her in 2021. Now another woman has accused Platner of non-consensual sexual conduct. Lindsay Fifield said she dated Platner from 2013 to 2015. She told the Post that he repeatedly removed protection without her consent when they were having sex. She said he would do so in a sneaky way. Fifield said she decided to speak publicly about it yesterday, in part because she wanted to show that Rasico was not alone. She spoke to CNN's Jake Tapper yesterday. He asked her what she wanted voters to know about Platner.
We know that you can't be that way in private and not have it translate into how you would govern or how you would, when you're put in a position of power. And I think it terrifies me to think of him having any type of power politically.
Platner has denied the accusations from Fifield and Rasico, but he said he was considering the best path forward for his campaign. Many top Democrats have called for him to drop out, including some who previously endorsed him. Platner faces a Monday deadline to decide whether to quit the race. Number 3. An ICE officer fatally shot a Mexican man during a traffic stop. Yesterday in Houston, Lorenzo Salgado Araujo died of his injuries at a hospital after an attempted arrest by immigration officers. According to ICE, he was in the U.S. illegally and refused to comply with officers during an enforcement operation. According to a Hispanic civil rights organization, Salgado Araujo's family said he was in the process of obtaining legal status in the U.S. His son said he had been in the country for 35 years. The incident appears to mark the first deadly shooting by federal immigration officers since Renee Good and Alex Preddy were killed in Minneapolis in January. Those killings sparked a wide public backlash to President Trump's mass deportation campaign and the aggressive tactics employed by federal officers. Number 4. GOP leaders say they have spoken with Senator Mitch McConnell. The 84-year-old Kentucky Republican has not been seen publicly since being hospitalized on June 14th. EMS dispatch audio from that day suggests that personnel were sent to his home to attend to an unconscious person in cardiac arrest. Amid the official silence, others have rushed to fill the vacuum with rumors and theories. But yesterday, several of McConnell's Republican colleagues and allies said they have spoken with him by phone this week. Senate Majority Leader John Thune of South Dakota said he spoke with McConnell on Monday, and the office of Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming said he talked with him on Tuesday. But McConnell has not spoken publicly himself, so online skeptics have continued to speculate about his condition. President Trump is using a century-old plan to justify his triumphal arch. That's our fifth story. Trump wants to build a towering arch at Memorial Circle. That's a traffic roundabout inside Washington's boundaries near Arlington National Cemetery. He argues that it carries out a century-old congressional vision for the site. That's because Congress authorized a plan in 1925 that called for a new bridge spanning the Potomac River and a pair of columns at its westward side. That's near where Memorial Circle is today. The bridge was built, but the columns never were. Trump and his officials argue that Congress's past support for columns gives them the authority to build a new structure there now. But the Post took a look at those plans and found they differ significantly from the 250-foot-tall monument that Trump plans to construct. You can see how the two plans compare in today's 7 newsletter. Number 6. Missing a deadline this Friday could cost you an IRS tax refund. Why are we talking about taxes in July? The answer is a little-known court decision from November. It's centered on how the IRS handles tax filing and payment deadlines when a national disaster is declared. A federal disaster was in effect between January 20th, 2020 and May 11th, 2023 during the pandemic. The ruling said the IRS should not have assessed penalties for late filing or payment, nor charged interest on those amounts in that time, or for 60 days after. So if you did pay penalties or interest to the IRS during that time, you could potentially get a refund, but you have to act fast. Tens of millions of people could be eligible. To see if you qualify and what to do next, follow our financial columnist's guide in today's 7 newsletter. And at number 7. The Post has some advice to make your summer travel as simple as possible. The summer is still young, but schedule disruptions and stressful flights are already ruining people's vacations. If history repeats itself, the next few weeks could see travel chaos. July is typically a big month for flight delays. To limit your chances of getting stuck, the Post compiled a list of 14 do's and don'ts for summer flying. For example, although it's often frankly horrible to wake up and catch the first flight of the day, that flight is less likely to be delayed than later ones. The weather is also likely to be cooler first thing in the morning, and the trip could be cheaper too. Also, while checking your bags makes it easier to travel with more of your beloved stuff, it might be best to avoid it if you can. If you face major delays, changing flights is much easier when you have everything you need with you. And using a carry-on means the airline can't lose your stuff, or at least it would make it a lot harder. For the rest of our tips, head over to today's newsletter. All right, you're all caught up. So, what is that newsletter I keep talking about? I'm so glad you asked. The 7 newsletter has links to all the stories I talk about here on the podcast, plus a lot more. But sometimes I get emails from people confused about how to find it. So here's my advice. If you're listening to this on a podcast platform like Apple or Spotify, you can find the link to today's newsletter in this episode's description. If you listen to us on the Listen tab of the Washington Post app, you can search The 7 in our app to find the online version of the newsletter. Or your best bet is to sign up to get us directly in your inbox early every weekday morning. I'm Hannah Jewell. We will meet you back here tomorrow.